Hola, sound designers. Today I wanted to talk about making sonic gestures. When you do sound design, a lot of the time it's about tricking your listener into thinking that a series of sounds or a series of events is actually one sound or one event. You can see it in music, you can see it in sound scoring for movies. In music, in my kind of music, you see it a lot in dubstep. A big womp sound, for instance, might actually be just a really low frequency to fill up the subs. That might be a sine wave. And then on top of that, several synthesizers layered to fill in the mid and the top end. And a lot of the time, we'll use automation, envelopes, filters, we'll use LFOs to make a sound change over time, but then kind of mutate and volley over to another sound. Our assignment is going to be really cool. I have a list of, of neat, um, surreal scenes that I'm going to give you guys. Uh, and I'd like you to melt some timbres together to try to achieve these scenes. I'll give you a list of them. We have liquid metal, so make something that sounds like liquid metal. Sentient forest, that would be like an ent from Lord of the Rings, like a wood creature walking or moving or breathing. Uh, Self-transforming mechanism, that might be a really neat sound of a robot or something. Fire and ice. Alien birth. I know someone's going to have fun with that one. Spiritual epiphany. What does that sound like to you? And factory. That would be a good one. Okay, so let's get started. Let's do a self-transforming mechanism. I think that would be a fun one to start with. I'm going to use a combination of sounds from the Hollywood Edge library and Zeta 2 to do this one. Okay, I'm going to start off with just one audio track. I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to dump sounds into here after previewing them. I'm going to find ones that I like and keep the ones I like. By the way, I made a greatest hits collection of some of these sounds, which includes the crashes, impacts, and a lot of the sounds I think that you'll mostly want to use. I think I left out stuff like traffic sirens and stuff because, and wind. I don't think you quite need those, but weapons, that's good. Let's hear some of these. Ooh, that swoosh is a pretty good sound. Swords, axes. Ooh, some good sounds in there. All right, let's check out miscellaneous. Not really. High-tech science and medicine. Now we're talking. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Not quite. Ooh, there we go. That's a nice sound. I'm gonna be looking for different phases that this little self-transforming mechanism can go to. I'm gonna use my imagination whenever I'm hearing one of these sounds. I'm trying to imagine a different state this thing is switching into, and also the sound it makes when uh, when when metal is grinding against itself or something. The other cool way to look for sounds is just by typing in. So I might just type in metal, just start like that, and every single sound in the Hollywood Edge, ooh, nice. Every sound in the Hollywood Edge library that has metal in it, or features metal, will be tagged. Actually, I like these. I like those ones. Okay. Sci-fi. Servo. Alrighty. Let's also do scrapes and switches. There we go. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. I'm listening for timbres right now. Timbres that excite me. Anything with resonance, anything with a characteristic where I can imagine a physical thing by hearing it. Those are the types of sounds that I look for when I find something in the Foley spectrum. And ooh, what was that? Tear gas canister. That is awesome. Okay, so we'll start with that much. And let me also open up a MIDI channel. And now I'm going to add Zeta. And I've got some sounds in Zeta that I'll show you right now that I think you'll like. Okay, so let me go to Mutant Revenge, under Synthesis. Actually, you can search in Zeta too. Watch this. I'm going to hit this search button. I type in mech. There we go. Mech sludge. All these sounds are crazy. Yeah. I'm going to put a limiter on my master right off the bat. So I like that. And what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to start duplicating Zeta and keeping the sounds I like. Oops, didn't switch. Yes. Yeah, that's good. And let's just do one more to start me off. I can always change it later. I'll search for mech again. Mechanical insect, mech wub. I think those are pretty good. Let's check that out. Yeah, I think I can work with that. Okay, let's get busy. So, first things first, I don't want you to be afraid of adding a whole bunch of audio tracks. This is 2014. You have enough RAM to have like 30 audio tracks easily. So I'm going to start off with 8. And this is just going to kind of be my canvas. And so I don't lose track of where my audio tracks are. I'll throw it in a group right away in case I want to do any processing. Right off the bat though, I might want to put some compression right on this channel. What compression does really well is kind of helps when sounds are a lot of different volumes. It helps to crush it into one sound. And that's why glue compressor is called glue. It kind of glues everything together. Okay, let me copy this stuff over to here. Oops. Actually, you can just drag it. Did you know you could do this? And if I hold down, oh, there we go. There we go. So this is kind of a cache, and I'll turn this track off. I'll just kind of go into here. I'll take them all off of warp, and I'll just start listening. You know, that might be a good sound reversed, so I'm just going to reverse that. Ooh. All right, so that's a good sound for right at the beginning. I'll lay down a marker so I know where the sound's going to start. All right, gonna listen some more. That's a cool sound. This might be a good candidate for time stretching. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say show in Finder. Okay, and then I'm just going to drag it right into SoundHack. SoundHack loads so fast. And now I'm just going to say hack, phase vocoder, and let's instead of scaling it, let's just make it 16 times longer, have a little bit of overlap, we'll hit process, and we'll put it right here in audio production. Alright, let's see how this sounds. Alright, so I think that sound will probably sound kind of cool, covered in reverb. It kind of adds some nice ambience. I'm just going to put it aside for now though. Keep moving. There we go. So I'm going to copy this guy, put it right here. So some of these sounds together. I'm going to cut this sound off right when it gets to the top, and that's where I'm going to try to volley it over into another sound. Put this guy right here, and let's pitch it low. And let's add a bunch of reverb. Awesome. That sound definitely should be in here. So let's try to blend that. And now I'm hearing this, and I kind of like the low tone in this, so. There we go, listen to that. And what I'm going to do is bring the decay time really far out on this guy, and then artificially turn it off. And maybe I'll automate it so it turns off right at that peak right there. Alright, and then right here, that's where I'm going to turn on warp. I'll go to complex. And what we're going to do is bring the transposition modulation. Pitch that way. Check that out. Somewhere around there, I want to have it morph into another sound. I hope you're kind of getting the picture of this. This can be really fun. Ooh, I'm going to want to use that in a minute. That's such a good sound too. Ooh, here we go. Alright, so I grabbed that guy, just copied it. Oops. And I think right there, it might be cool to have some more reverse sounds. So let me put this guy there. And so it's kind of cool. This forward transient kind of goes to a backwards transient. It's kind of the idea. Maybe there's another good one in here, like this guy. And to me, to my ears, that sounds a little harsh, you know? So you can always just transpose, and of course you can always use some effects. So as you do this organically, you're going to find that some tracks are going to have, like, you know, reverb on it. This one I'm adding this EQ on it, and I'm going to automate it. And later on, when I put in another sound in here, I might identify this track as an EQ track, and this track as a verb track. You start making a vocabulary, a little playpen, I should say. Maybe this guy needs some. Yeah. Starting to sound like a mechanism that transforms. I think that servo should be a little less servo-y, maybe. Yeah. So I'll start it kind of low, but then we'll transpose it up to where it should be, so it connects with that next sound. We need more. Let's bring that guy in. This guy should be a little more quiet. I know I've been pitching a lot down. This guy should go up. Have him fade out too. I just hit Option Command F. Anytime you want something to fade away like that. And then when it goes back up, let's do an impact. I'm going to go back to my Hollywood Edge and type in impact. Let's see what we got. Yeah. Need some cool crashes and impacts. Need like that's close. That might work. All right. It's got that squeaky sound in it that I like. I'll pitch it up a little bit better. Oop, that's our verb channel. Let me throw this guy down here. I like that part of it, but I think I need a bigger impact sort of sound. Oh, I got it. I'll use my Zeta. Ooh, that one's a little harsh, actually. That's a little better. Maybe I'll use this guy, though. Yeah. So I'll just lay down a note like right there. have some fun with this. Make this note long, and I'll make this not fade out. I'll have it go somewhere. Where does it go? Each E1 goes to all pitch. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to have it go down and then come back up. That sounds cool. We had a little delay too. We should be adding more little delays. Short delay. Yeah, do you hear that stereo effect? I'm on these headphones. So that's awesome on its own, but it still has to move. The name of the game is motion. This is a mechanism that is transforming. Can't do the same thing for too long. We'll have it swoop up, and oh, I'll end the note right there. And you might notice that right now I'm not really adhering to the timeline. If I was doing this against music or visuals, well, if I was doing this for music, first of all, yes, I'd definitely be more paying closer attention to the grid. If I was doing this against visuals, though, you're really you got to follow what's happening in the cues. You can't really be a slave to a timeline. Anyway, let me go to my synth, and I'm just going to crank up the bend up percentage right here. And I'm also going to click configure on this guy and make it so I can move these guys independently. And ooh, you know, it's also another good one might be feedback. It'd be cool to like turn up the feedback really loud and then bring it back down. So, you know, just a few simple parameters I'm changing right here. One thing I noticed about a lot of the presets you guys have been using, there's not enough automation in a lot of these. There we go. Listen to that sound. And then feedback will come all the way back down. Oh, the other thing is I'll cut the delay really fast too. So I just clicked on level. Oops. Configure. Level. Okay. So when it gets to the end of this thing, we can cut out the delay, making the delay really sound like it's part of the Yeah, listen to how that delay kind of slides in, and then it disappears. Let's hear it with everything else. Cool, so now let's add another texture over that sound. I think I know just the one. Some of these ratchet sounds. Alright, I'm going to pitch this guy down, and let me show you something cool. I think I've mentioned this in class that one of my favorite plugins is Corpus. It's really good with heavy transient sounds. Tight. And then I want it like a psha or something right there. Oh, and I haven't even mixed this guy in. Let's turn this channel on and get this guy in the mix. Okay, now remember, has to be moving. I'm just going to use a filter like I've been using everything else. I'm going to bring this guy in, something like that. And bring him out. That's great. Let's put a glue on that. Let's hold out these lower frequencies a little bit longer and make it kind of an exponential curve. I'll just put a curve on it, just like that. A little less. Maybe I'll put it before. I like this sound that came in. Let's put him in there. And once you start getting things to where you like it, we can collapse up some tracks if they start getting overwhelming, because then you can just kind of see how one event flows to the next. All right, so this guy's going to volley right there, and this guy's going to get pitched down. And maybe I'll put him in the corpus track. That might be cool. A little loud. Sorry about that. Ooh, what if we time stretched it? Ooh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Texture? Some more reverse action right there. That's great, except maybe I want to automate some of this corpus. This might be kind of cool. Sweet. That's great, except I think that this guy just needs to be louder. That's cool. This guy. Awesome. Let's get another impact, and let's, oh, I haven't played with these swooshes yet. Let's do a reverse swoosh. That's great, we already have a filter on it. Don't be afraid to automate things. Ooh, I think these guys will go together. Alright, let's volley to another. Maybe not that guy. Maybe I'm done with the mech guys. Let's go to synthesis. There's some good stuff in here. Let's see. Foam, kill screen, mouse circus. You know, I think that my new mutant library, the reload library, might have some good synthesis in it. Predator. Yeah. Alright, so let me just lay down some of this. Let's get a better note. Cool. Let's do a crazy pitch bend on it. And let's just make it. Right about there. Make a really big pitch bend. Gotta change these parameters. And let me hit configure. Move that XY thing. Really cool sound. So let's see what we can do with this. Throw some automation in there. Cool. And then I'm just experiment. Gonna drop this guy right there. Too brutal. Too brutal. Let's try another preset. Presets are like little ideas. An idea on its own is not very much, but if you do something with an idea, let's try side level. If you move the knobs on a preset, that's when special stuff starts to happen. That's kind of cool. Whew, yeah, all right. I kind of want these guys to play at the same time, except I want like this guy to slowly come in, like this. A little too much resonance there in the middle, so we're going to dip the resonance just like that. Alright, now I want something that's more impacty with a lot of reverb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our collection to type in impact, and I think what I want is something that's real heavy, that I can put a low pass filter and a bunch of reverb on. Maybe some military stuff. Tank? No bueno. Weapons. Impacts. Oh, there's a whole folder called impacts. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Add another track. So I'll take this guy. Make it low. That'll be good for the metal timbre. And what I'm going to do is shave off some of the low end, and then I'll use a different thing to compensate for the missing low. This guy needs a better mix. I'm just going to get EQ and put a little shelf. Getting rid of some of those highs. Okay, maybe not that much. Oh, did you see the shape that? Very cool. Okay, back to our impact collection. That's what I mean. Something like that. So here's where I filter out the highs with an EQ. And I'm using the Ableton reverbs now because I'm recording video at the same time. But I think that you guys should probably use Altiverb or something. So I want to make sure these hit at the same time. Zoom in pretty close. And oops. And let's also make them hit like right when this other guy stops. How they sound together. Let's pitch that guy a little. I think would sound good with that. Some more of that servo sound. Let's get this guy, except we'll dump it into this track, and we'll start from a different spot. And we'll do a bit more time stretching. That might be fun. Cool, and transpose that thing here. Actually, I like it back. And we're just going to get the very beginning. And then right at the end, one more servo. Except this time, get another part of the we haven't used that. Ooh, that's cool. Great. Let's do some more reverb, and this time we'll do some delay as well. Should have been doing more delay in this. There we go. And we'll also automate this guy. I'm just going to freeze these guys too because they're pretty much where I want them. And I want to be able to play the note halfway through. I can't wait for the day that you're able to do that. I think that that's going to require printing the MIDI note to audio as soon as you put it down. Fold some of these up. Okay, and this guy right there. Okay, that's a good sound, but it needs to be combined with something else that's more of a transient, something we haven't used yet. You know, those are great sounds. I think that those would mix well with this moment, like between that impact and this one. I don't think that we've used that one that much. Yeah, see, that goes good with a lot of the sort of sounds. It kind of gives us a sense of something clanging and changing. And I'm going to put some really quick ping pong delay on it too, just to spatialize it. At this point, I'm kind of thinking about the stereo field. I'm going to turn off sync and have it just be really quick. And even turn off feedback. So I think that that would go good. Cool, and then when it gets to the top, maybe one of these sword sounds. Sounds crazy. Yeah, we haven't used that guy yet. I think that's the mustard gas. Okay. Oh man, that's actually pretty good. I'm just going to add another track here and combine the sound a little bit more. And notice this ping pong delay. It sounds really cool. But I'm going to do the pitch shifting trick with it some more. While that happens, bring up the... Maybe not that much. Something like... Whoa, that's pretty cool. And let's grab this guy, put him here, and reverse him. Kind of tap all this off, bring the feedback back down. And bring the dry wetness back. Okay, I think we have our sound here. Check this out. Self-transforming mechanism. Did it feel organic? Did it feel like there's this thing that flops over and making these sounds? I think probably the only out of place sound might be that guy. I think maybe the reverb is too huge. And I think that maybe these zetas should be grouped and they should change together somehow. Maybe a little bit of redux. Ooh, no. Oh, I got it. Grain delay. Might be a good one. so I'm going to bring the dry wetness up a little bit. And I'm going to play with pitch. Let's just record. That's better. Okay, it's just a little loud now. Okay, so I think you get the gist. The only thing I would do after this is I'd put a compressor on the group. Oh, I already have. And I would just kind of crush it a little bit. Turn down the master a little bit for you. Just to kind of get the sounds to blend a little bit. And you'll notice when you start compressing things, and this is true also for electronic music in general, sometimes frequencies that are most prominent will end up crushing other things. So that'll help you it'll help to give you an indication of maybe what kind of EQ curve you want. So just put the icing on the cake. We'll do some compression. And I think that I'll put some EQ on this and try to find some sweet spots. I think maybe some of the low end's too much. A sweet spot is any spot where you put the EQ and you're like, that feels better. I thought that sounded a little better. We'll bring up the highs a little bit, and let's see. Oh yeah, that's sounding much better. And at the very end here, since we got this EQ on, we will just make a graceful exit like that. Yeah, to silence. And if we want to throw in a little more of a little Easter egg, maybe like some metal clanging, like right at the end. Something like that. Yeah. So I'll pitch it down a little bit. Well, just that screw, like a screw. Okay. Cool. So now I would render this. This is a 10-second sound effect that it took about 45 minutes to make, and from scratch. I think it sounds pretty good. It's something that, I might use in some music. It might be something that later on I want to come and pick apart. Maybe I'll use a portion of it in a track. I have numerous occasions where I'll go back to a sound effect that I made and I'll remember some, maybe I'll just grab this track or that track and incorporate it into something I'm doing. So doing this can be really useful. I mean, rendering this on its own, this might be a really cool effect that you later want to take and then keep chopping and make another mutant out of this thing. This becomes its own effect that you can later on use in something else as one thing. I hope I've explained myself pretty good about melting timbres and just kind of shown you hands-on about giving sounds forward motion, making them transform and move and making it sound organic. That was my self-transforming mechanism. I cannot wait to hear what you guys do. I hope you have fun with this project, and the next time we get together, I can't wait to hear some of the things that you've come up with. So, hope you've enjoyed this. Take care.